Figure It Out is brought to you by Speed Republic from Mad Cave Studios. In the near future, Europe is plagued by hollow visions of unity. Food is scarce, the water is polluted, and health is a luxury reserved for the 1%. An escape from poverty presents itself once a year in the form of the Grand Race, an all-out action-packed rally across Europe. Where anything goes, Speed Republic. Written by Ryan K. Lindsay, with art by Emmanuel Parascandalo. Colors by Michelle Monti and letters by Jomette Gill. Coming February 2nd, 2022, from Mad Cave Studios.
Welcome to an all-new episode of Figure It Out. I know it's been a while, but we hate you guys, so we took a vacation. Look, I'm here to be honest. No, but all jokes aside, we took a little bit of a vacation, much needed, not well needed, but much needed. Well rested is what I was trying to say. Well rested. Me and Joel had numerous pillow fights while we've been gone. Pete has actually cut all liquor completely out of his life. We've just been doing some real awesome things. Pete's like, I'm drinking now. All right, so clearly I was only lying about one of those things, but me and Joel's fort building and pillow fights were amazing. We should have recorded it, but it's on our own.
Really should have.
It's on our OnlyFans. Don't worry about it. But anyway,
I'm learning so much.
So returning. We don't do
free for the month. If you sign up now.
Free. But anyway, returning.
Friends are free. Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is you guys can believe Joel and think it's a lie, but just type in Joel and Juwaan on OnlyFans and you're welcome. Anyway, welcoming back, as always, starting off with Pete. What's up, Pete?
What's up, everybody? Happy to be back.
I'm also glad you're not currently eating. I would have made you throw up numerous times just now.
Past dinner now.
And the best pillow fighting buddy a guy could ask for, Joel. What's up, Joel?
Champion of all pillow fights.
All right, let's get right into it. I love our friendship. That's all I can say. Before we get into figure talk, Pete, you got any new figures?
I got one, and I got something else that's kind of fun that I'm going to show off.
All right, cool. So we'll make sure we do that before the end of the episode. But I want to start off with just a few topics. I'm not going to bog us down in topics, but I did want to start off with this. In a recent interview, Robert Pattinson did tease, the ending, like the end credit ending of TheBatman by saying, I mean, they always have a little bit at the end that's like in coming up, but other than that, it feels strangely personal. I think people will be quite shocked at how different it is. So I just want to say this, Rob, all you essentially just told me there was there's an end credit scene that leads to more Batman movies, and that's it, because we don't connect to shit. So that's really all that was. But Pete, my question to you is, do you think this will be a villain tease, or do you think this could maybe be our Robin tease as our end credit scene?
I think by him saying that it's more personal, I'm going to assume he means it's more personal to Batman and not more personal to himself. Like, I don't think Kristen Stewart's going to show up or something, or like the rest of the Twilight crew, or like, Edward, where the fuck have you been?
Like they just step out of a portal while Ned's standing on the corner just doing this, and they just
some shit.
Pop out and they're
know.
like, "Hey, no, wrong universe. All right."
I mean, it just, and this is purely hypothesis, and it's not even a fucking well-based hypothesis. It's just what just literally jumped into my head now. He seems pretty violent in this movie. Like, he's a little unhinged. Maybe he's just kind of getting used to things. And back in 38, Robin was introduced because they were threatening to like cancel Batman because he was too violent and he was nuts. So Robin was introduced to kind of calm him down, make him a bit more kid friendly. and you could see the difference in like the color changes and stuff that they were doing with the stories. That if you look at some of those, you know, the reprints of the old issues, or if you're fortunate enough to have the old issues, what's your address and what time would you not be home? So maybe we will see some sort of Robin brought in to kind of tone him down.
I'm glad you said that, because that's something that I was saying a while ago when it was rumored. Joel knows this, when it was rumored way back when there was like a Flying Grayson's like little flyer or something possibly in this movie. Once you get that trailer, once you get the more recent trailer, where he's saying how much Alfred, you know, like, you lied to me, Alfred. It kind of just feels like Alfred doesn't have the hold on him we're used to Alfred having. Like, clearly Alfred has a say there in Wayne Manor, but it just doesn't seem like he has the hold. Because again, we've never seen a Bruce this erratic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this consumed with being Batman. When Christian Bale's Batman came back, it was very much just like, I tried to kill someone as Bruce Wayne. It didn't work. So I'll just scare the shit out of people as Batman. And it was very controlled, right? He didn't ever go too far where you're just like, did you almost kill like Scarecrow? So he seemed more controlled. And I think, no, really, everyone was a very controlled Bruce. This seems to be a more uncontrolled Bruce. So when you see the focus in the funeral of him just staring at that boy who just lost his father, clearly that's his soft spot. That's his soft spot right there. You know, the loss of a parent and a kid that young having to go through life without that said parent. So I could see something, and I don't think we'll see Dick Grayson. If it is a nod to Dick Grayson, it could be something as simple as the Flying Graysons or something like that. A scene where Alfred's talking to Bruce and you hear it in the background or something. But I'd be very disappointed if this Matt Reeves universe does not introduce a Robin. But if it's a villain thing, like Court of the Owls, like Alfred's talking and he opens up a piece of mail and it's just a feather, I'll fucking lose my mind. So I'm fine if the end credit scene is just about villains, like how Batman Begins very, you know, actually brilliantly worked in the Joker for to kind of let you know, like, oh shit, the Joker's that's coming, you know. So I think the way they did that was genius. So, but Joel, I'll pass it to you. What do you think this end credit scene could be more catered to? Building a Bat family, or just something as simple as like whoever the next villain might be?
Probably that. Probably alluding to the next big villain in the next movie or something like that, more so than expanding on the Bat family. I don't know if that's going to be the focus. Not saying that it won't happen. I'm just saying I don't know if they'll tease it like at the end. It might be teased throughout the movie. But yeah, I think it'll probably be more of a villain tease, hopefully. You know, I mean, a whole lot, I wonder. I mean, they can go in a lot of different directions, and this movie might tease more than one villain. I mean, it already has teased more than one villain, but we might get even more than that. So it's like the fact that they're not holding back and showing you like it's Gotham and we got villains, and I appreciate that. You know, it's not like only one, and then one breeds another one, and then maybe two, and then like 2 equals 3, and you know what I mean? It's like they're all there.
Right.
Because they all exist.
And look, something that really stood out to me in one of those first few trailers was when you see that he explodes the dam and you see all the water flooding the streets. I wonder if the next movie we go to is what the next movie is being rumored to be, which was when all of Gotham was chaos and it was run by different villain factions. Because you flooding out Gotham, that's going to take time to rebuild. So I'm like, do villains just come out of the woodworks and just go, fuck it, I'm going to take over Gotham? So it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be very interesting to see what Matt Reeves does with this first movie, man. And like I said, if there is no mention of Robin in this at all, I'm fine with that. I just need to know that going forward, there will be. That's it. That's all I'm asking for. I don't need everything in one movie, but as long as that's something you plan on getting to, you take your time, man. You get there when you want to get there, but it better be there. Because it's going to be really hard to believe love is what tames Bruce. Because Selena seems very, very cool with going as far as Bruce does in this movie. I mean, there was one little scene in one of the trailers where he's beating the shit out of what looks to be the Riddler, and she's kind of looking at him like, God damn, man, like shit, like that's a lot. Like, stop. But yeah, so I'm with you, Joel. If that's the case, cool. But I fucking need Robin. These new posters that they're releasing, AJ would be proud of. These are some really good fucking posters. Unmask the Truth. I love those posters. All right. I want to pass this over to you to start, Pete, because me and Joel talked about it, and it was so late I couldn't remember any names. Joel was asking me. You would have been very disappointed in me, so that's why I was glad you weren't, on the show. But I pass it to you. Ask you, Pete, what are your thoughts on our official casting of Kyle Allen as Prince Adam for the Masters of the Universe movie coming out next year? Next year. It films this year, so yeah, it comes out
on Netflix.
So you were busy reading and you didn't actually see my gut reaction to your question. So I'm gonna give you another one. Why don't you ask me the question, but look at me.
Okay. Your thoughts on the casting of Kyle Allen as Prince Adam? All right, so give it to me, Pete. What's because okay, so I'll start it off by saying this, right? First, my initial first thought when I saw him, like when I saw the photo of him, was, okay, cool. That looks like a cool Prince Adam. Like I have no problem.
Heman.
That's what me and Joel were saying. That's going to be the fun part to see. What do you do? Because I was telling Joel, you can't enhance the body and then just pop his head on the body, right? And
get this motherfucker some GH immediately.
Right. He's way too small for me to believe that he goes from Billy Batson to John Cena, right?
Here's my biggest fucking problem, Juwaan. I was reading the synopsis on one of the He-Man pages that I follow on Instagram. I believe it was He-Mania, which is, if you're a He-Man fan, fantastic Instagram page. He's a fucking orphan? What the fuck? How do you fuck this up immediately? It's already fucking stupid. It's already garbage. Fuck you. Fuck everyone behind this. Fuck everyone. I hope this goes the way of every other fucking He-Man project that has come before it, because somehow, inexplicably, they managed to fuck the story up before it even gets off the ground. The outline is right there. How is he a fucking orphan?
It seems like maybe they're going for a darker He-Man than what we're used to. Like, this is a He-Man that...
And make him black.
Everything.
You want a fucking darker He-Man, make him black. He's not a fucking orphan. He's a goddamn prince.
Well, I think he's still going to be a prince. I don't think that's all going to be taken out. I think it's just a budget thing. I think it's so they don't have to start on Eternia. They start on Earth. I think that's the point. And then he'll find out that he's a prince and go to
need a lot of fucking narcotics and alcohol for this shit.
Well, I mean, look, if what Joel is saying is a balance, they could go the route of he thinks he's an orphan.
Yeah, right.
Maybe
that's what I'm assuming.
Maybe he thinks he was born on Earth. As far as he knows, he doesn't have any parents.
He doesn't know. As far as he knows, he's human. Like, he's normal.
Right.
Because as far as I know, wasn't his mother human?
Listen, boys, your unabridged... No, his mother's human. His mother's from Earth. Your unabridged optimism is refreshing to me. It really is. Well, for a curmudgeon such as myself. But I'm not trusting it at all. And I will be hammered whenever this fucking thing deigns to come out on my Netflix. If, Netflix doesn't go through 4 more price raises by then, in which case I kick them to the curb. I'm going to start fire streaming that shit real soon.
When you make a change like that, I have to believe, because it's supposed to be a huge pop of when he does see where he comes from. And he does see his dad. He does see his mom. Because to me,
I better have a good reason for it.
No, I'm with you. And look, Pete, as someone who shared everything you feel about Snake Eyes, that's what launched Figure It Out. I understand the fear of you're just gonna do some really weird, fucked up shit. I feel you, but I'm like something. And again, Snake Eyes did the same thing. And
ruined it.
like I get you, but at least with this, we're talking about him not having parents, which could be fixed, right, throughout the movie.
Right.
To me, I haven't heard enough yet. Like Snake Eyes, you telling me you casted Henry Golding is what made me and you do the show in the first place, because we're like, well, there's no way you're gonna silence him and put a mask on his face all day. There's just no way in hell. So from the jump, we said, oh, hell no. This casting doesn't make me feel like that. It just makes me feel like now I'm very curious what you do with He-Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, where do you go? Because again, he's not the right definition that you can just bulk him up and it be believable, right? So I'm like, if this guy bulks up, the best he could look is like how Robert Pattinson looks right now for Batman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, he's not going to gain the Rock muscle between now and in the summer. So I'm just curious what you do with He-Man. And if He-Man looks good and their concept for He-Man looks good, then you could sell me on anything else, because that to me is the hardest part. Is to
It's going to be garbage. It's going to be absolute bust.
Nail He-Man. I think that's where you start there.
Yeah, because there's nothing harder than doing that. Like the accuracy part, sure, but Pete, is mediocre as we thought Snake Eyes was. If they stayed true to Snake Eyes, we would have enjoyed that movie 10 times more than we actually did.
Yeah, of course.
So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. If He-Man is good, I think it might cover up some of the, transgressions we may have early on without knowing everything yet. So that's why I'm saying, whenever you start filming, once you figure out a He-Man, that better be your first official photo.
I like to go into things with as few expectations as possible. This way, if I'm pissed off, I'm already pissed off, so nothing changes. And I really can't get much lower than I am at this point. Snake Eyes proved me wrong. I left much lower, much lower than I.
Because you know what? And I was telling Joel on our walk back to the train station.
I wasn't expecting 100-foot snakes. I was not.
I wasn't expecting that, but
I'm on rock bottom, and somebody hands me a pickaxe and shovel. Thanks, guys.
What's funny? You know what pissed me off the most about that movie, Pete? Like, everyone always assumes it was just the mask thing. That's not what pissed me off the most. What pissed me off the most was, how do you take the most honorable man and make him dishonorable? Yeah, and then take the villain and make him honorable, and then tell me that he's the future villain. I sided with Storm Shadow the whole way. Like, no, fuck that guy. What? Why would you side with? You know what I'm saying? So
it's asinine writing like that made IDW lose the fucking rights and license to Transformers and G.I. Joe in the first place.
Yep. So that was frustrating. But I am very willing to give them a chance. Like I said, as soon as I saw the photo of Kyle, I'm like, he looks like Prince Adam. So that part's covered. That part's good. That's the easy part. Now what's the hard part? Because visually, He-Man and Skeletor have to pop. Like, they have to really pop. So I'm very curious. And again, this is the only casting that we have. And Pete, please, for Joel, because I let you down. I will admit it right now. What is Battle Cat's actual name?
Cringer. Like to cringe in fear.
Yep. Yeah. That's what I forgot what it was called.
Couldn't remember that at all. I let you so down yesterday. Joel
Some people will say Cringer. Either one.
Yeah, I let Joel and you down. I'm sorry.
What did you think it was?
No, I didn't say anything. I just forgot.
Okay.
Completely. Yeah, I just forgot completely.
Yeah, I forgot his name, and I forgot the little wizard dude, whatever his name is. Orko, right.
Yep, I was.
Yeah, I'm again. There's another. I'm not a He-Man guy, so like.
That's totally understandable.
I grew up on the shitty movie that you guys probably hated just as much.
Honestly, I hated the movie more when I was a kid. I love it now. I really do.
Oh, really? Yeah,
it's like one of those, like, it dug its way into my nostalgic heart. But like, even when I was a kid in the movies, I was like, Mom, why are they on Earth and not Eternia? Mom, why isn't he turning back to Prince Adam? Mom, where's Battle Cat? Mom, where's Cringer? Like, I was that pain in the ass already that I am now, but at like 5 years old. And my mom was like, I don't know. I don't fucking care. Watch the movie.
I had that shit recorded for the I have it on tapes. I still probably have it somewhere. But I used to watch that show all the time, and I had no idea because I didn't watch cartoons, so I didn't know about anything. I mean, I remember certain images from the cartoon, but I grew up on that movie, so it's like a lot of like to me, Skeletor was scarier in the movie than he was in the cartoons.
He absolutely was. Yeah, Frank Langella is a scary motherfucker.
Yeah, I was like, wow, he's way more. And then I hear him the way he was in the cartoon. It's not terrifying at all. Like it was weird. But yeah, I grew up more on the movie than the cartoons. But now that I've gotten to know He-Man a lot more over the last year, because of the new animated shows, even the really kitty one, I learned some stuff with it.
I didn't watch that one, but I didn't. I didn't
Well, look,
hate it
you don't
initially
like
from seeing it.
it changes,
I know it's very different. I know
it's
that.
very different. It is very different. There's some changes, but it stays true to the story more or less because a lot of the relationships are similar. So again, I learned certain things, but if it's anything like what Kevin Smith did, like in that vein, I'll be very happy with it. But
I
like you
love
said,
the Kevin Smith one. I really
yeah, it was great.
And
It
I'm
was really
hoping we get another
Revelations.
season.
You
I
better
loved
get
it.
another season.
It has to get that one.
Because the one Joel's talking about is already being greenlit for a second
Right.
season.
Oh,
Exactly.
good.
Right. But the movie, it's gonna be on Netflix. And like you said, they're talking about he's an orphan on Earth. So already my mind goes to the fact that he was sent to Earth probably to protect him. Blah blah blah. He'll probably I don't know who's gonna recruit him, but they'll probably take him from Earth to Eternity, and then he'll find out that he's actually a prince. And
I wonder if they sent someone like Man of Arms, like they stripped him of so that he looks like Man of Arms, so that he could be like like Obi-Wan to Luke, like he's watching over him. And when the time comes and they have to return back, that's his way of going back. Is that Man of Arms knows how to get them back. Like I said, as long as it's not something to where we go back and forth between Earth.
Yeah, once you leave Earth, don't go back.
Yeah, once you leave Earth, don't go back. So as long as you do that, I'm fine. If this is just kind of to bring in more casual, to make it make a little bit more sense, so it's not as fantastical as we would like it to be from the jump, I'm fine with that. As long as you get there and then fucking stay there. But go ahead, Pete. I'm sorry.
I was just going to be a stickler. I was going to be that pain in the ass. And you'd rather me do it than the rest of the internet at large. It's Man at Arms.
It is Man at Arms. Yeah, it is Man at Arms. I said Man of Arms.
So keep your comments to yourself, internet. I got it covered.
I did say Man of Arms. That is true. I did say that. But that just sounds better. Man at Arms? That's fucking weird.
I always thought it was a weird name too as a kid, but apparently it's like an old military position.
Right. A Man at Arms is an actual term.
Yeah.
All right. What was I say? But yeah, all right. So let's move on. Pete, me and Joel talked about this, but I want to loop you in because you are a fan of the show. You actually said the show is the greatest show you've ever seen. And that's Titans.
No, it's up there, man. It's up there. I did not expect to enjoy Titans nearly as much as I've been.
Yeah.
Okay.
And look,
fun.
This is a direct Pete quote. I'm not putting words in his mouth. Pete did say that Titans is the godfather of TV series. So just
I might have said that. I'm not sure.
He's like, wait, how many drinks in was I? Just 4.
Yeah.
Just 4.
I never thought I was gonna like it when I saw the advertisement and Robin was like, "Fuck Batman." I was like, I don't need this shit. I curse enough. I don't need my superheroes cursing. And then I watched the show because I was home. I think I was sick. I was like last year, whatever, and I watched that and I watched Swamp Thing, and it was awesome. And we are, again, just to repeat myself ad nauseum, we are all so much worse off for not having Swamp Thing been finished and gotten another season because it was.
Oh yeah, it's depressing.
But what's up with Titans?
So with Titans, Pete, I'm glad you said that. Let me bring this up to give visuals to the peeps. So we have some casting news for the all new season we know we're all getting of Titans. And the castings are as reads: Joseph Morgan as Sebastian Blood. Franca, right, Joel? Ponte, Franca Ponte. Yeah. As Mother Mayhem. And Lisa, not even trying your last name, Lisa, is Jinx. So we will be getting Jinx, Mother Mayhem, and Sebastian Blood. So that's pretty interesting.
Mayhem.
What did I say?
Mayhem.
What the fuck? What? Did I?
Yeah, the mayhem. Like, okay.
All right. Maybe I have an accent. Don't make fun of me. You know.
He's embracing his inner Georgia.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mayhem.
Yeah. Go to hell, Joel. Anyway, so what do you think? What do you think of us getting two, but technically three really huge villains for this all new season of Titans?
I don't know. I know Baron Blood's name, but I don't know the other two. So
you don't know Jinx?
You don't know Jinx? Only Jinx I know is G.I. Joe, bro. Sorry.
Oh.
Damn, bro. Wait, Jinx. Wait, did you ever watch Titans, the Teen Titans, the cartoon?
Alas, no. I should have. I know.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
It's my own fault. I have been meaning to get to that, and it kind of fell by the wayside. But I'm going to put it on the list. I actually started keeping a physical list, because when people be like, "Yo, you got to watch this," I'm like, all right, I'll add it to the list, and then it's like in one ear and out the other. But I actually started writing down a list, because mad shit just dropped like right around the new year, and I'm like, I can't keep track of everything. I'm already still playing catch up. I started writing the shit down. It's helped a lot.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, again, some of these characters, obviously not Jinx, but Brother Blood is someone we saw in Arrow. Remember Diggle had the whole problem with the Hive.
Yes.
Right.
Speaking of, Diggle keeps showing up in random shit on the CW. If they don't make this motherfucker a Green Lantern, I'm storming somebody's corporate office.
Look, his last conversation, again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but his last conversation with Luke gave us a lot of information about him in that said ring.
Yes.
He's not as separated with it as we thought. It's where he just wants nothing to do with it. Now he's just like, yeah, how do you get this shit open again? I did it before. Like, how'd you do it before? I don't know.
Close it. Now it's staying closed. I don't get it.
Right, yeah. Like, what do you think this is? Pretty Woman, Joelle? Like, no, you don't get to reopen it. It's closed. It's gone.
What the
done.
hell?
Yeah. You moved your hand. It's done. All right, Julie Roberts. But no, I'm really excited for season 4 of Titans. And again,
do we have a release date at all?
Nah, they started filming maybe a month or two ago, maybe.
I don't know.
I didn't think it was gonna be for a while.
No, Britton Thwaites said when they announced it that they were filming soon. Mm-hmm. And this was back in October.
But they haven't posted anything.
Is that the kid playing Nightwing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, shout out to Britton, because I didn't know who this kid was outside of Pirates of the Caribbean. And I remember when he was casted, I was just
Pirates of the Caribbean. That's where I know this little twerp from.
Yeah, I was just like, this is
he's this guy's son.
Yeah, I'm like, this is something. And then I saw the trailer, and I'm with you, Pete. I was not a fan of Fuck Batman. Just like, why? And then obviously when you watch the show more, you're just like, this show does not like Batman. And I'm like, but at no point did we ever need to see Batman. So I'm like, not only are you disrespecting him without him being there, you then bring him in and then go through the worst shitstorm of disrespect you possibly could to Batman. It's like, I don't get it.
I can see that you were like deeply offended.
Bro, I will be talking about this when I'm 90 in my rocking chair, just like, and they had the fucking nerve to disrespect Batman. But no, I do like these castings, Joe. I mean, you talked about these castings. The actors are kind of whatever. Like, I mean, you know, to me, whoever you casted as these characters, I would have been fine with. I'm very familiar with two. Nope. Very familiar with one of these actors. So again, Jinx is a character that I'm like, whatever. So whoever you casted, I would have been fine. I just want them to give me an official casting for Gizmo. Because maybe we'll get a step closer to Cyborg if we put Gizmo in there as a main.
We have Gizmo.
No, I know. But I doubt the guy who played Gizmo will be continuing to be Gizmo. They might want to go for more of a name for Gizmo. So I'm hoping if Gizmo becomes a mainstay at some point, we can maybe fucking pull Cyborg into this universe.
Doubt it. If they bring it in, it's not because you can't. It doesn't matter if you bring Gizmo. They should have been there from the beginning. You're bringing in Cyborg because Cyborg belongs there, not because Gizmo showed up.
Well, clearly they don't care that he belongs there.
Well, then they're not going to give a shit about Gizmo either.
Bringing in his villain.
Gizmo?
Again, you'd have to watch Teen Titans.
Okay.
The Fearsome Five. It's a group of villains. He's one of them. So Gizmo, Shimmer, Jinx, Mammoth, Simon.
That cartoon's on HBO Max right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now you have
like
both versions, the Teen Titans and Teen Titans Go.
I actually enjoyed Teen Titans Go, and
It's fun.
I didn't watch it until Weird Al did the voice of Darkseid, which it was just amazing to me.
All right. Next up, Tom Holland says he and Florence Pugh have talked about a crossover film with Spider-Man and Yelena Belova. Quote, hopefully one day we can make that happen. That would be very cool. I never thought about that pairing until I read that. And now it's kind of just like, I mean, you guys will when we have our next Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right, yeah.
so it's not like saying like, man, you know what? It's Spider-Man. I'd like to team up with Nightwing. Like that's something that you go, well, that will never happen. But you with the new Black Widow, yeah, just whatever the next time we get an Avengers movie, the two of you will be together. So I just thought that was more so funny to where he's saying that like, you know, it may never happen. Like, bitch, come on, like, come on. They wouldn't cast her and just say, all right, well, we'll just put her in a few things and that's it. Like, come on, Tom.
She sounds too fucking adorable doing that Russian accent. You have to put her in.
Right. You have to put her in as many things as possible.
Yeah, just let her talk. Let her talk.
Many things as possible. Pete, are you a big, not a big, but how much do you know about Halo?
I don't know a damn thing about Halo, except for that this dude is like a Mandalorian, never takes off his helmet when people are around. But I saw the trailer and I want to watch it. Even my mom wants to watch it. Like what does my mother know about modern video games?
I love it. I told Joelle that's all I asked for.
She asked me, bro. She was like, "What's that show, Halo?" I was like, "Halo." Like, and I only know one thing called Halo. Like, are we on the same page here? Like, you want to watch that shit? My boy Cheeseburger would be so happy. I actually forgot to tell him. I got to tell him that shit.
Bro, that makes me so happy. I told Joelle all I want from this show is just to make more people aware of Halo. Like, I keep saying, because we were doing our review of it when the trailer dropped, and Jamie and Trayvon were saying, like, people know Halo. And I'm like, but you're saying that as someone who plays Xbox, right? Like, if you're someone who plays PlayStation, you automatically go, people have heard of Uncharted. They've heard of God of War. That's not something you can safely say with confidence that it's that universal, right? Like, you can go, it's not unknown, but could you safely say Halo is something that you could just ask any random person? They would go, yeah, I've heard of that. The green guy with the gun. No, it's not. So I'm hoping that
I know of it. I know of Uncharted, and I know of what was that other shit you mentioned?
God of War.
I actually know more about God of War because I like mythology. But like, yeah, the other shit, I always just figured it was like, oh, it's a dude Tomb Raider. Okay. Like, I don't fucking know.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Joel. Was that blasphemy?
That's one way of putting it.
I think comparing Uncharted to Tomb Raider is as simplifying as comparing Moon Knight to Batman. To where it's like, well, sure, on the surface, there are similar things.
Basically.
I did that.
But if you actually read it or play it, you know that it is drastically different. Like,
my friend was like, what's up with Moon Knight? I've never heard of him. And I was like, he's basically Batman in white, but crazy. Like, that was it. Like, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, because Lara Croft has had to fight like monsters out of old shit, like stuff following her and whatnot.
Nathan Drake fought monsters.
Like actual monsters from Finding Treasure?
He fought Yetis, he's fought zombies.
Oh,
yeah.
Shit. Okay. Maybe it is a lot closer. Maybe it is Bill. Tomb Raider. No, so I like I said, just widening everyone's, knowledge of Halo is great. I love it. Because like I said, it's such a great franchise. It's such a great story. And Cortana looks fucking awesome. Cortana's the life simulation in the trailer. And Master Chief looks fucking beautiful. Like, I didn't care about anything else except for Cortana and Master Chief. And
You got to get that working. And if he takes the helmet off, it's over.
Right. Yeah, they nailed that.
Right.
And the first monster you see, I'm like, oh, he fucking, it's beautiful. Beautiful. I'm like,
Alien.
You got me. You got me there. All right. Let's see what else.
Looks really good.
Yeah, no, it looks great. All right. So, from my time to shine, hello. Marvel's goal for the fourth Spider-Man film is to bring Miles Morales and have him and Peter bond over the course of the film. I think we all kind of expected this, especially with the more and more Tom Holland sounds like he wants to start to work his way out of consistently being Spider-Man.
I think he's just negotiating.
That's very fair. That's very, very, very possible. But I do also see Tom wanting to just do more things. So, you know, like we said before, Peter Parker doing bigger things and Miles just kind of, you know, doing smaller things makes all the sense in the world. And then you just team them up whenever you want to. So, I mean, that makes perfect sense. But Pete, I'll start off with you, man. Is this kind of like a duh, or is this kind of like, if true, it's really interesting that it's this soon rather than maybe waiting a little bit longer?
I think it's at the very least a half a duh. Like, I fully expected Miles to show up already in some capacity, whether it was a quick cameo or something.
Right.
But I understand casting would have had to be a little bit more extreme than that. Yeah. I fully expect there to be. I expect Tom Holland he's got another Spider-Man trilogy. They're going to do the college years at least, and probably one more after that of like his adult years. So I think Tom's got another 6 and whatever other Avengers shit he gets roped into in the meantime. And Miles, if Sony persists and insists on doing their, you know, villains and their movies, there is no reason that they can't do an absolutely stellar Miles Morales set universe with, you know, villains that they want to use. If they want to use Craven and make a stupid movie about him, if they want to do Morbius and insist on putting that stupid movie out, you know, you can build up an entire Miles Morales universe as long as it doesn't suck. Like, just don't everything. Like, dear Sony, everything that you think should come naturally and that you want to do, throw it all in the garbage and just ask Kevin Feige what you should do, and then shut the fuck up and do it.
Yep. Essentially, yeah, look, I'm with you. I said that before. I said, look, instead of us having to go back and forth and keep negotiating and you want to put this in the MCU and all that, just use Miles over there, right? Just use Miles over there. You'll be fine. Miles is, you could make a case, is as popular, right? So it's not like 100%. It's a step back. It's
arguably, especially if you're reading the new Marvel, if you're reading an up to date on Miles's issues, which I am because my boy Torrin Clark is still doing the covers, the main fucking covers to Miles Morales. I went to high school with this dude, and I couldn't be prouder of him. He was one of the best artists then, and he fucking still is now. Y'all go follow him on Instagram. It's a thing from Dune, Maudib, Mauudib, I believe is his shit. Go follow him. His work is amazing, absolutely amazing, and funny, cool dude as well. Anyway, Miles is arguably a better, more down-to-earth Spider-Man than Peter Parker has been in the last few years, at the very least, because they've had Peter Parker all over the damn place, where now the clone is again running around. This is why I haven't read Spider-Man in fucking, like, since the Venom verse. I can't deal with whatever dumb shit Marvel and the writers are throwing at them. Like, we all had faith in Nick Spencer because he had to write that whole Hydra Cap storyline and everything. And I know he got a lot of shit for that. And then he was coming over to Spider-Man and like, no, he's done other cool stuff. And what are you doing? What is happening in Spider? I don't even know if Nick Spencer's still writing the shit or not. I haven't read Spider-Man in that long because I've just been like, this is giving me an aneurysm. Like, I can't. All right, on that note, I need to get another drink, but I will still be able to hear you boys.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, like I said, for me, it's more so just like like I said, I'm with you, Pete, because it's like just do that and then just find a way to merge it. Come to an agreement where you just merge the two, where you agree it is in one constant universe. Just figure that shit out, man.
That's all you gotta do is one universe and do team up movies. You know how popular that shit would be?
Yeah, that's it. Instead of MCU doing Miles and Peter, and then Sony wanting to do Peter and Peter, it's just like, what the fuck? Why are you making this so difficult? So to me, I took this more so as a duh because we knew Miles was coming. But as soon as the very next Spider-Man movie is very much something I wouldn't have saw coming. I would have seen it as maybe more like an end credit scene, where he maybe comes in contact with this kid at some point during the movie. And then, us not seeing Miles actually get bit, see the interaction, something kind of like we got in the actual video game, where they both jumped on the ceiling as an end credit scene. So I was shocked, with this possible rumor that it could be legit a team up movie, essentially. Because I doubt you have Miles throughout this movie, and then you go, no, well, Peter's just gonna take on the villain by himself. It's like, I mean, the game did it in a really unique way, but I kind of want you to just give me full on Miles, like give me Miles. Yeah, go ahead.
And if that full on Miles turns out to be Jaden Smith, no, I'm gonna roll up a newspaper and hit every motherfucker at Marvel and Jaden. No.
Yeah, I don't think we have to worry about that. I don't think we have to.
I hope not. Yeah. I heard that there was some.
I'm pretty sure Jaden Smith towers over Tom Holland too. So
right. And look, we know that they started Tom as a baby, and then grew Tom with the viewers. I think Miles will be the exact same thing. Miles will be a baby, and then we'll just see Miles.
I honestly hope he's a little younger.
I hope he's more than a little bit younger. Peter's supposed to be close to his 20s. I do want Miles to be like 14.
If he's in college.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, 18 14, and 14, 15. Almost
18,
like an older brother kind of dynamic.
Exactly. Cool. Right. And look, if they handle it anything like the video game, Miles' background, it's set up so much so when Miles got his own game, we didn't have to go through any of that fucking origin shit, right? We just went right into it. So I'm like, if they do that, cool. But I say this to say this. No way that movie ends without Miles getting bit. So if that's the case, I'm very interested if Spider-Man 5 is just a full-out Peter and Miles team-up movie. Or do you give Miles his own movie?
I've been saying that forever now. I thought that this is the best time to introduce Miles to be in this next movie. Because, like, why wait? You teased him in the first movie, then we're hearing nothing for 2 movies. You set him up so that by the end of this next trilogy that he's a heir apparent, right? So that's how I look at it. So maybe he doesn't get his powers until the end of this movie, or at least like you said, get bit. I'm fine with that because that's perfect. I mean, you end it with him like, oh shit, and that's like just like the video game did it, or he's not there. I mean, he's in the game, but he doesn't get bit to the end, and then it becomes something later on. That's a perfect way to approach it. You know what I mean? So, if it's true, because as far as we know, it's a rumor. Cool, because that's kind of what I wanted anyway.
No, I mean, and Joa, I know you were somewhat against what me and Pete were saying of having Miles in a whole nother universe and then have Peter in a whole nother universe.
Yes. I was.
But I mean, like I said, I'm more of someone that just needs a straight line, right? I'm not a person that survives in chaos.
I agree. I don't want a different universe. I want Sony. Sony wants
to just ignore the Sony universe and
let them do it. But keep the fucking universe. Just make the movies. Keep the universe.
Just ignore Sony's side, and you have a straight line. Stop looking at it.
That's it. Yeah.
Blinders. I'll worry about everything else. You don't have to.
Right. I'll figure it out.
I will say, Joel, that is the one thing about not liking doing what I have to do these shows, because I would love to just put blinders on and just go, I don't know what the fuck that is. Sony. I've never heard of I only know MCU.
You still can.
I can't because they're slightly making some of it interesting. So I'm like, well, you know, like if I can see Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man versus Tom Hardy's Venom, that's interesting to me. Unfortunately,
that's possible. I mean, that's something I want to do. You know.
So I'm like, damn, I care about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to, but it does sound interesting. It would be very cool to see. It'd be even cooler if there was maybe a fucking Carnage. But whatever. But anyway, Pete, we can take a small break and go into figure week.
Figure week.
I'm starting off with, I got a few things since the last time we were on air. Pete, you might not feel the happiest about some of these, but I wanted them. I start off with Scarlet from the Snake Eyes movie. Yep. Does not look like her, so clearly they didn't even try to do a face sculpt. They just said, hey, orange hair. We don't really care. Obviously, we saw Storm Shadow's right-hand man. Kimiko, I believe, was her name. I think so. I think it was
not Jinx.
Definitely not.
That's her code name, not Jinx.
Yeah, not Jinx. And then I forgot his name, to be completely honest with you, but it is a Wookiee from the Old Republic. Not Chewie, but it is a Wookiee from the Old Republic.
That looks
his
a lot
weapon,
like Chewie.
Right, they all, yeah. But to be fair, they all fucking look like Chewie. His weapon of choice.
KRS-One. Like
no. Yeah, that is very true. He does Black Chrysanthemum for people who are very confused with what I was talking about.
I was about to say, wait, KRS-One. That's ringing old nostalgia bells somewhere in the back of my head.
Because I'm telling you right now, when someone watches this, they're gonna be like, no, rewind that. I don't remember seeing KRS-One in anything. Joel does not like to have to say Black Chrysanthemum each time he mentions him, so he calls him Black KRS-One. Just so everyone is brought up to speed. But that's really it. That's all I got in the meantime. I've done more gaming really than toy collecting, but also freaking Hasbro said that the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness figures, Multiverse in Madness?
In the Multiverse of Madness.
Multiverse of Madness. Okay. Those figures are supposed to already be out. Now GameStop's telling me they won't be out till March.
There's a lot of figures. You know, I'm in a lot of G.I. Joe groups and everything on Facebook and whatnot, and there's a lot of figures popping up all over the place, like the Alley Viper and the regular Cobra Bat, and we ain't getting shit around here. Like, things are in upstate New York, and they're in all of them square states in the middle of the country and shit.
Square states.
Like, for real, like, you ever look at a map of the United States, like west of the Mississippi? It's like they ran out of ideas for property lines, and they're like, "Fuck this, just square."
How are you so square?
Seriously, like you look at Tennessee, like somebody was like, "Yeah, we're gonna make some fucking shit here," and I don't know. That guy was like awful work one day, and everybody else was like, "Okay." But like, yeah, like mad shit is popping up all over the place. But I haven't gotten none of my Hasbro pre-orders yet. So what gives? What's with the distribution is all sorts of fucked up. I'm still hoping that, you know, everybody's saying, oh, like, don't worry, these things will be available en masse to, you know, to everybody. It's not going to be like you got to hunt them down like you did with some Target exclusives and stuff. So I'm still hoping for that. It's still early in 2022. I guess around May or so, that's when I'll start to get a little pissy if I haven't got my shit yet.
Well, look, I want to call out Hasbro for bullshit, because they had a Power Rangers Space figure that's supposedly a Walgreens exclusive, right? Mm-hmm. It's sold out on Hasbro, like on Hasbro. You can't go there and buy it. It says it's sold out. I call Walgreens, Pete. You ready for this?
Cool.
Walgreens response, and the 50 different Walgreens I called, we have no idea what that figure is. It's very interesting. Very interesting that your exclusive figure, you've never heard of this fucking thing. I'm pissed because there's nowhere to buy it. And then if you go on eBay, because you can go on eBay, right? A $20 figure will cost you $80. Yep. And I keep telling everyone on eBay who keeps sending me like, we heard you're looking for this Power Ranger. Unless a Blowy is coming with that action figure, you will not be getting $80 out of me. That is goddamn shit. This isn't even like a high collectible to where I'd feel the need to do that. Fuck out of here, man. So yeah, Hasbro, get your shit together. I should have had my Winter Soldier already. That looks super dope. If you guys remember when they released all the looks of the new figures, and it was the actual Winter Soldier with removable heads, with the mask, knives, guns, the whole nine. That was supposed to be out. Now that's pushed back to late February. And then Multiverse Madness figures pushed back till March. So you're fucking killing me here, guys. Because by the time March comes around, they'll all be sold out. And I'll be really fucking pissed. But all right, Pete, what do you got to show off?
So I got a birthday present from a good friend of mine. Just my X-Force Marvel Legends Wolverine.
Oh.
Always loved that color scheme.
I did
if anybody needs a Wendigo head, that is gonna just probably pop up on eBay because I don't.
That was a really cool version of X-Force too.
It really freaking was.
That was.
It really was.
And you know what? I didn't think I would like Deadpool's look in that, and I actually really like Deadpool's look in that. Like it worked.
And the artwork from Clayton Crane was so damn good. Everything about that series, like I missed that series.
Yep.
And
good.
My last thing, a friend of mine bought me a nifty winter, like kind of hat and face mask combination. So show this to you right here, and that's just our.
What
the hell?
Oh my goodness gracious, Pete! What the hell? Everywhere you go, they're gonna be like, "Sir, are you gonna rob a bank?" No, I don't.
They look like Davy Jones.
So good.
Wait,
it's really comfortable.
Joel, how guilty would we feel if we turn on the news? It's like in New York, local guy robs a bank in the weirdest mask. I would be sitting at home like, please don't be Pete. Please don't be Pete. Please don't be Pete. It seems like the suspect's name is Pete. It's like, God damn it, Pete. Like, they're going to pull up this episode and make me and Joel witnesses here. No, that's fucking hilarious. And please show off your shirt because that is hilarious.
Yes. Got my, I love Stitch, man. Stitch is my guy. So when I seen this variant 626, I had to get it.
I will say, Pete, you should be a little worried. There were rumors a while ago of a live action Lilo and Stitch coming our way.
Oh, I heard, and I was less than pleased with the idea.
Now, look, it's Disney, so maybe Disney can make it more. Like I said, I love The Jungle Book. The Jungle Book is still probably one of my most favorite live action adaptations ever. So I'm like, if they could do Jungle Book, I have to imagine you could do Stitch, right? I just have to. I have to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, look, if they could do Sonic, right?
That is true.
That is very true. That's a great point, Joel. Thank you. That's way better than Jungle Book. They did Sonic. And let's not forget Pokemon.
Pokemon was good.
Yeah.
They looked a lot furrier than I needed them to.
I like that. I mean, they're supposed to be furry, so it makes sense.
Really?
Oh, man. Detective
Yes, they have fur. They're animals.
I never got that from Pikachu. I never.
Yeah, he has fur.
Like stuff like Eevee. Like Eevee looks like it's.
He's a mouse.
Never took it that way.
He's an electric mouse Pokemon. That's what he is.
Never thought of Pikachu being a mouse before, ever. So wait, is Raichu a rat? Is he a rat?
Yeah.
Ew. I don't think I'll ever view them the same.
It says it on the description.
Really?
Yes. You don't read, I know. But still.
You know I don't. Why do we go through this? You know I don't read.
Look when you play Pokemon. It's electric mouse.
Okay. All right. Well, now I'll look out for it. I'm playing Pokemon right now, so I'll look out for it. I never thought of that. Never thought of that before. Damn. Now you made Pikachu skeevy for me. But it just sounds gross. Fucking yellow mouse. Ugh.
It's an electric mouse.
But no, so I am excited. I love the shirt, Pete, and I'm just excited for more Lilo and Stitch because I remember when I was young, right after the movie came out, like a few years later, they did the animated series. And I love that animated series for Lilo and Stitch. You explored more of his cousins and whatnot. So I'm interested. I'm interested, and knowing where Lilo and Stitch takes place, very curious if they find a way to like put the Rock in there or something. Like,
I think The Rock needs to be in just about everything. Man can do.
I think it just makes it more interesting. I really do. I really truly do. It's like seeing, it's like watching Expendables and going, who's missing here? Duh, Tom Cruise. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that can make the Expendables
They
any
can't
better.
afford them.
Weren't they making an Expendables 4? Didn't I hear
They
that?
are.
Yes.
They are making them.
Yeah, and they're doing a female spinoff apparently.
I don't know.
I'm okay with that, actually. There's a lot of, like, Cynthia Rothrock. Whatever happened to her?
I think that got canceled.
Really? Because I was going to say Sebastian. That's not his name. Sylvester Stallone was very passionate about doing that all-female.
I don't know if he was passionate about it, but it was a thing. Because I know they were talking about who they wanted. But I think it didn't work out. I mean, I could be wrong, but last time I read it, I think it didn't work out.
I think I won't truly appreciate that unless they could get someone like Angelina Jolie. So I'm like, when I think of female action here, it starts with her. It starts with her.
I forgot who they wanted. Oh, I forget. I know they had a list.
I know Ronda Rousey was definitely going to be on there for sure.
I'm sure. Well, she was in part 3.
Yeah,
right.
Like, you got to go back to the 80s, man. You got to like Cynthia Rothrock was the female like Chuck Norris back in the day.
That's what you needed. Some people like that. Like, what?
Yeah, you get women like her, Carrie Werner. I don't know if that's I'm pronouncing her last name right. She was in a couple of action flicks. Fuck it, get like what's her name? Not Shannon. Fucking hell! I can't believe I can't remember this woman's name. She like made my adolescent years. Shannon Tweed. Shannon Tweed. Good Lord, get her in a movie again, please. Erica Laniak. Let's go back to the Baywatch and Under Siege days. Hell yeah, we could do this.
I don't know who any of those people are.
That's because I'm old, Juwaan. I'm old.
But see, that's what I loved about the Expendables, is because you brought in someone like Jason Statham. That is my time. So I'm like, all right, well, I know Jason Statham. Great.
But he's supposed to represent modern day.
No. But that's what I'm saying. So when you do this female thing, you can bring in everyone you're talking about, Pete. I just want there to be like someone like Charlize Theron, where I'm like, yeah, I know her. Cool.
Charlize would definitely have to be in it. Yes.
I'm like, just don't give me.
It was supposed to be called Expendables.
That's probably sexist. I'm not saying it is, but it might be.
A little bit.
That's just like when when Hollywood came out and was just like, there's no actors and actresses, they're all actors, and it's like, all right, I guess, but that makes your Oscar season very uncomfortable. Best male actor, best female actor. You already had that in actor and actress. But yeah, as long as Michelle Rodriguez isn't in it, I'm fine. I'm 100.
Mila Jovovich would have been good.
Honestly, I can't believe we forgot the two major ones. Sigourney Weaver and Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, those for sure.
You also have to put in what's her name from Matrix.
Yeah,
I'd be okay with that. Sandal Bergman for sure.
Yeah. I think
like I said,
if you're trying to add someone in more modern, like more modern, that you could afford. What's her name? From Guardians of the Galaxy. She played Gamora.
What's her name?
Oh my God, what is her name?
Why can't I think of her name?
I'm blanking.
Oh my! Have we ever had a moment where we all just blanked?
Yes. Yeah.
That happens. Happens once in a while.
Oh my
Zoe Saldana. Jesus.
There we go.
Sorry, Zoe.
Zoe Saldana. And anyone thinks she doesn't belong there, like what? I'll just say this: they had Terry Crews in The Expendables, and that motherfucker had no action movies ever.
Some people were just roles.
Right. Randy Couture was just there because Randy Couture did UFC. Like,
right. He was a fighter. He was an actual UFC fighter.
Right.
And you had Terry Crews, who was just fucking monster, but a funny monster.
Right. And Joel, can you guess the one person I want to see in a new Expendables movie? Who's the one actor I talk about at nauseum? I'll give you a hint. He was in G.I. Joe. Or, I'm sorry, he was in the Snake Eyes.
I'm about to say Andrew Koji.
You know I want me some Andrew motherfucking Koji. I want it. I do. I desperately just need it. I need it.
We already have who's gonna be the next Expendables.
Oh, but they didn't cast Andrew Koji, Joel, so maybe they're not done.
I mean, unless he's like a villain, like it's possible.
I'll take that. Yeah, have Andrew Koji kill these motherfuckers and let that be the end of the series.
Probably gonna end with him dying, but okay.
No, but that's hilarious to think about. Like Sylvester Stallone's writing the movie, and he's just like, "Wait, who wrote this part where we all die?" And you just see me behind him, like, I don't know, man. That's weird.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think we have a whole bunch more.
I want to know: are you guys watching Peacemaker?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this not one of the greatest shows on TV right now?
I thought you said you were behind in that. That's why I didn't even think to bring that up, Pete. I'm sorry.
No, I just watched episode 5 yesterday, so I was a little behind for a couple of days. The only one I've been saving myself for a marathon for is Book of Boba Fett. I have not started that, and I'm going to blast through the whole shit.
Oh, you're going to love it. Well, maybe not.
Bro, that's what I thought. Like, everybody's been talking about it. I managed to avoid pretty much all spoilers, knock on wood. But, like, I know this whole waiting week to week shit really annoys me. So I'm like, I'm just gonna wait and watch the whole damn thing.
You got 2 more episodes, right? I think it's it.
I'm gonna start this week.
Tomorrow,
so this way that I only have I can
tomorrow,
blast through like 3 or 4, and then when the last one hits, I watch the next the last episodes.
Yeah.
But Peacemaker, I was bored one night. I was actually breezing through HBO Max. And I was like, you know what? Let me check this out. And even the first, what they dropped, like 3 episodes in a row the first time.
Yeah.
And I watched them 3. I was only going to watch 1. I want to watch all 3 of them. I laughed my ass off. At no point does this show take itself seriously. The soundtrack is bananas. I mean, for a guy like me, it's all 80s hair metal. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I want them to release a soundtrack of this show. It's like fucking 80s hair metal greatest hits. It's amazing. And I mean, I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it on the show, but I know I've said it before. John Cena, for a big, like, muscle-bound dude, he's got amazing comedic timing. Like, he's really fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I told Joel this. This is when Joel kind of got out of it. But I've seen John Cena from wrestling, like from his wrestling birth. And the fact that he made Doctor of Thugonomics, which could never work today, but the fact that he did Doctor of Thugonomics, and that was just so explosive at the time for anyone watching wrestling, where it's like, who the fuck is this guy? Leader of the gang.
I was there for that.
Oh, I thought you were saying you got out of it when Cena.
No, I got out of it when he became a good guy, when they wouldn't leave. Like, he wouldn't stop being a good guy.
Got you. Okay, I got you.
That's when I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Yeah, I love that, Pete. And he had great comedic timing with his raps. To where it was just like, you wanted to hate this guy. But he was just so fucking funny. So I loved it then. And it's funny, Joel. Remember, Joel, I was telling you where the "you can't see me" came from? And that if anyone ever says it, he stole that from Tony Yayo. I love that John Cena came on the Jimmy Kimmel Show and said, I stole that from Tony Yayo. It's like, I'm glad you fucking are saying it finally. Because no one ever gives Tony Yayo respect. They always say that's John Cena's thing. But no, Peacemaker is great, Pete. James Gunn really put his foot in this shit, man. He really did, in a good way. Mm-hmm. The show's comedic timing, like you said, the music, and there's a whole lot of Easter eggs in that shit. I'll tell you one I know you didn't notice.
I probably did not.
They mentioned Kondak in the newspaper when Vigilante threw the trash can at the window. The cop that was reading the newspaper.
Uh-huh.
Kondak was at the bottom, and it was saying something along the line. I'm paraphrasing, like what they were raiding tombs or some shit like that.
Oh shit, that's cool.
Yeah.
So, and Joel was telling me that there was a rumor that Harthorne would be in Black Adam.
They already this fucking guy spoiled it. What's his name? The guy who plays Economos.
Oh, really?
He already admitted that she's gonna be in it.
Oh.
They asked if he asked if he was gonna be in it. He's like, no, I think it's just this girl.
hot
He's
blonde
like, I
one?
don't think you should say that.
Whoops.
So that's freaking dope. That
Hardcore.
little thing was in like a small little newspaper, like a small little thing in the
But
news.
under because the gorilla one was on top, so
Right.
at the bottom it was the contact, some shit that happened there.
And
Something with
Joel
Intergang.
always,
I think it was an Intergang thing.
Yeah, I gotta watch a video on like all the Easter eggs because I definitely miss all of that shit. My first time watching it.
I mean, there hasn't been like because most of the Easter eggs aren't like actual Easter eggs. Because Cena is saying it, like Peacemaker's like actually saying it. So it's not something you have to like. Oh, I miss seeing it. No, he's telling you. Like, what is it? The guy that eats everything. Like he's actually telling you.
Oh yeah, Matter Eater lad.
Right. So a lot of the Easter eggs, he's literally telling you. It's the very tiny Easter eggs. There hasn't been a whole bunch.
And he's just so dry in his delivery. I think that's what makes it like it's so stupidly funny.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that. So what's been your favorite episode so far out of the 5?
I honestly don't know that if I have a favorite yet. Because I've only watched each one once so far, but I do like the dynamic when Vigilante shows up in like when they're staking out the house. I think that was like episode 3 or so.
Yep.
And like he's just hiding there and she's like, we can all see you. It's like, yo, we have microphones. We can fucking hear you, asshole.
See, I like that you said that. I like that you said that because my funniest Vigilante moment is definitely when Peacemaker couldn't shoot the kids. And then Vigilante goes, "It's okay, man. It's okay. Just relax. I got this." And he's humming while he's mauling down children. It was the funniest shit, man. Like, why is he so calm? He's a sociopath.
He's nuts. He's fucking nuts.
Joel, I assume, and that's why I didn't mention it, yours has to be the chainsaw, right? That's your favorite Vigilante moment?
Yeah, that shit was funny though. I know, because it kind of almost kills the gorilla with the chainsaw. The Vigilante's all upset. He's like, "Yo, why didn't he just pass it to me? You know,
it would have been so much cooler if he threw the chainsaw to me."
He heard me say I wanted. Why did he just say?
I like the other subtle line when the leader is talking to the big black girl. I don't remember her name, but he was like, he trusts you. She's like, Adebayo, right? Thank you. He's like, he trusts Harcourt. No, he wants to have sex with Harcourt.
Which, look, for men, that is a great distinction to make.
100%.
No. He doesn't trust her. He just wants to get in her pants. And it's like, oh, okay.
Like, you're his friend. There's the difference.
Right. I fucking love that show, Pete. I'm so glad that you brought it up, man.
Yeah.
I do wish, because I'm glad you're caught up with Peacemaker, but I really wish you were caught up with Book of Boba, man.
I'm sorry. By this time next week, I'll be caught up, so we can talk about it.
Because I'm like I know you would have so many questions that I'm just so eager to fill in for you.
So actually, I'm figuring by next week. So Joel, you said there's 2 episodes left, right? So there's this one coming out, and then by next week, yeah, I'll be fully caught up. That way, we can just talk about it right before the last episode drops on Wednesday.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And look, Pete, you'll be happy about this. Joel planted this little nugget in my ear. There's not a whole bunch of episodes left, but I'm thinking about maybe doing a live Peacemaker breakdown. Like when the day it comes out, like that night.
Okay. So that would be next Wednesday, right?
Thursday.
No. Next Thursday. Thursday. Sorry, this Thursday.
This week.
Yeah, this Thursday. Yeah, because I think there's only like 3 episodes left, 2 or 3 episodes left. I think, right, Joel? There's only like 2 or 3 episodes left.
I don't remember how many. I'll check.
Just finished episode 5.
Right. Because
Yeah,
no. Sorry. It's one more than Book of Boba. Book of Boba is only 7. Peacemaker
might be 8.
Yeah, Peacemaker's 8.
Well, but season's 1.
I'm glad Peacemaker's 8 because I'm like, there's no way they could wrap this shit up in one more episode.
Right.
So, tomorrow, I think there's 3 more episodes left. It said.
Good.
Okay. All right. So yeah, we could do the last 3 weeks, and then like the final week, just like a full wrap up show.
I'm with that. I like that idea.
So all right. So we got that. Pete, before we head out, you've been following any of the CW shows?
Yeah, I think I haven't watched Superman and Lois yet. I'm waiting to get like 3 or 4 episodes of that and then binge it. But everything else, I think I'm all caught up on.
Okay. Let me ask you this, and Joel, you say nothing. I want to hear what Pete thought. So me and Joel were talking about this, and we saw it 2 different ways, right? So when you see how everything played out with Poison Ivy, right? Joel saw it more so as what's her name was never fully in control, right? Of when Poison Ivy took over. I took it as she was telling us that she was in control and she just wanted to have something to make them pay attention to so that she wasn't always on the back burner. So I took it as she was fully aware. Now, if you're saying she wasn't in control of the power, no problem. But she was super aware of everything that was happening, the robberies, the scamming and whatnot. When she came out of it, and she was like, I remember everything. Did you take that more so as like she was kind of just in autopilot? Or was it kind of just like, all right, now that she's lost it, everything is starting to flood back. But she knew what she was doing when it was happening.
I think that they're going to take it from the standpoint of, like anytime somebody talks about being mind controlled or something like that, they're always like, I knew everything that I was doing, but I couldn't stop it. Like it was like I was watching myself on television or something, like from the back of my mind and shit. And if you've ever been high on certain narcotics, that's exactly how you feel. So I can relate on some level. I really can't relate in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know.
Not at all. Not at all. No, not at all.
Yes, but different one. Not the one you were thinking.
Not that one.
That the one that they use it more to tranquilize animals. Lots of fun. But like, so I think that was what she was kind of saying. Like, I didn't want to do the things I did, but I couldn't help myself or some shit like that. But like, there's gonna have to be some consequences to this shit. Because yeah, you robbed a bank and you did some despicable ass shit, but you fucking threw a random ass dude into a tree and impaled him. Like, you killed this kid's father. You did that. You did that. There has to be some kind of consequences to that shit. So if they go ahead and they make Mary a villain from going forward, like, I don't think I'd be too upset with it, because it did kind of seem like her as a character was on the back burner to, Raya's Batwoman, fucking Luke's Batwing. Right. Sophie's just gorgeous and should be fucking kept under glass at all times.
I hate you and Joel both.
They're hot, Juwaan. Are you like not like? Do you not have eyes?
That woman could make a bishop kick in a stained glass window. Let me tell you. I'm glad you like that line.
Oh my god. No, I don't
go to hell.
I don't see for sure. I don't see Mary becoming a villain. I do see her doing something like visiting the family, wanting to give the family money, and the family's just like, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like the guilt eating up at her. Especially if she's starting to remember literally everything.
Right.
Especially that cop that thought he was gonna die when they stole the ambulance. It was a lot of shit Mary did.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting. But I told Joel the funniest part of that episode, Pete, is where they're like, Mary, you killed someone, and she's like, no, I didn't. And then once they solve it and they defeat Poison Ivy, literally no one gave a fuck about that guy anymore except for Mary. Everyone just moved on. Like, legit, that woman goes, look, it's cool. It wasn't you. No problem. And I'm just like, wait, what? A kid lost his dad. And It's no problem, Mary. Let's move on to more important things.
Yeah, really.
But how much, Pete? Are you enjoying her brother being essentially
the Joker, basically?
Joker? Yeah.
You know what's funny, Juwaan? I don't know if funny is the right word. Yes. As a singular entity, I am actually enjoying this kid being the Joker.
Okay.
When you look at the series as a whole, and now we have yet another psychotic sibling who is being a villain.
Yes.
That seems like contrite writing to me.
Yes. Yep.
So at most you can get is a B-, you know?
Yes.
Like
yes. That's why when they were just like, all right, well, Mary's going to be like a version of Poison Ivy while Poison Ivy exists. I'm like, you gotta stop taking people that are that close to her and villainizing them.
right.
Like what the fuck? Could you picture reading a comic and all of a sudden it's just like, and Alfred then takes the knife and puts it to Bruce's throat. Wait, what? Like, why? Why would I need? Why can't she just have friends? Like, she can't. Why can't she have a normal mom, a normal brother, and normal friends? And her villains are other people. You're trying to make it too personal, and that's how you started the series. And then you got rid of the actress. So I'm like, well, now that you got rid of that part of Batwoman, let's get more creative. And they were just like, no. Only one trick around here. Family will fuck you over. I'm like, wait.
We've got the same writers.
Right, yeah. I'm like, wait, why didn't you let go of the writers when you let go of Batwoman? Like, why didn't they just go with her? Bring new people in. But yeah, as I told Joel, that was my only issue. If Batwoman season 1 wasn't so bogged down in sibling rivalry, I wouldn't really have a problem, you know, because clearly it looks like there is no Joker, there's no Penguin, there's none of these characters we know from Bruce's world or Bruce's.
Right. This is like clearly many years after that, like when they were talking about the original Killer Croc. That was a pretty cool episode too.
So I'm okay with doing an alternate version of Joker. I just don't ever need it to be this personal. You know, that's my only issue. Don't make it so fucking personal.
And now that they're like trying really hard to shoehorn Alice into the crew, right, and like make her almost like an anti-hero, which I love the idea because I think that actress is probably the best part of the whole damn show.
I would agree.
She's just like kooky.
Yes, I would agree. No, and look, to me, it's like that's fine because it gives her something to do. But I told Joelle before, I was kind of like, well, when her dad didn't come back and then she didn't come back,
right?
You need, and again, I love the act. She does an amazing job on the show, and I get why they kept her. But I'm kind of just like, you got to weed out all that storyline to embrace whatever the newest storyline is. And I want to run one more thing by you, Pete, before we talk Flash and then get out of here. Me and Joelle were theorizing on what we would like a season 4 of Batwoman to be. Where Batwoman gets her version of a Robin, whether it's spoiler or who else, Joelle? Orphan, yes, thank you. And we were saying if it is spoiler, you can go the route of because they love utilizing these characters so fucking much. Of what's her name? Joelle, the assassin, the greatest fighter female fighter in DC. Why did I just forget her name?
Shiva.
Yeah, Shiva. That would be really awesome. So that would be like her version of a Ra's al Ghul, right? And it's fighting for the life of spoiler. So I'm like, I would kind of like that. She gets her little Robin. Go ahead, Joel. What were you saying?
Well, they already introduced Stephanie Brown, so it's like that kind of nixed the whole idea of using spoiler.
Well, then I wouldn't mind because I don't want you to change Orphan, really. Maybe you might have to. Because when you introduced her, she was so much older than she should have been.
I know. It's weird.
So weird. Like, wait, what? Like, it must have been the team that wrote that first that wrote that first Batman movie with an old ass Dick Grayson. They must have brought on the same writers. Why are they so old?
It was all set up there. Like I
would have been fine, Joel, if she was just 18. I would have been fine with
Just just younger than what she looked.
Yeah.
He had this thing with Luke. I'm like, okay, so they're around the same age.
Right. I'm like, that's so weird. But yeah, we were saying that concept, Pete, would be really awesome for Batwoman to go in. So it's away from all the family drama, and it's more so bogged in a Batman lore, where it feels more like a world of Batman. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Especially because she needs a sidekick. It's clearly not Luke. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's clearly not Luke, which is fine.
Sorry, he's too much of a herb. He just can't.
Right. And you know what's funny? Because Arrow did it the opposite way, right? All of us thought when we saw Roy Harper, like, all right, finally, like, all right, cool, Batman and Robin, right? And then we find out, no, his real true partner is Diggle. And what the fuck? Why? Like, why? The sidekick is right there. But I think the CW thinks like Joel thinks, and I think they don't like the redundancy, right? So it's like, well, if he's an Archer and he's an Archer, I kind of feel like you're getting the same thing. Which is why I was upset that we never got, which would have separated Roy from Oliver, got the arm.
Right.
He didn't get the arm. It was at the end.
Well, no, yeah, it was way later on. But I mean, being a series regular as his actual sidekick, giving him the arm would have made people go, oh, they're truly different.
I mean, him becoming Arsenal sooner, yes.
Right. Right. Especially because he was so angry because he had the the Mirakuru. So he was so angry. So it would have made sense that he ran off and did something crazy, fucking lost his arm. Right. So I'm like, I still to this day don't like that they were just like, let's think. We need a partner for Diggle. We're bringing in Speedy. No. We're bringing in Roy. No. We're bringing in a Canary. No. Diggle. That's the guy. Fuck. Like, why? And remember,
and they didn't even make his ass Green Lantern.
Right.
Yeah.
But remember, Joel, when we all thought he was going to be Guardian.
I wanted him to be Guardian. It just made the most sense. And then they gave it to Jimmy Olsen.
And they were just like, ha, nope.
That shit lasted like a half a season. Like, nah, you're gone.
And yeah, it lasted for a little bit. And then he left the show. Now his sister is Guardian. I mean, shoot, last time we checked, she was Guardian.
Right.
Actually, that's
Supergirl just went down the fucking tubes. That last season was garbage. A lot of the last few seasons of that show were awful. The only thing that made it good was John Cryer as fucking Lex Luthor.
He was good.
He was very good. I'm still waiting for him to pop up in where he actually belongs, in Superman.
Superman,
yeah. Like, come on now. Like, do it already.
It's bound to happen eventually.
Like, come on. And you know what's even funnier? The fact that he left Metropolis for Smallville, right? So then it becomes, well, does he know? Because if Lex Luthor just pops up in Smallville, you then go, well, does he know that Superman is Clark? Like, why would he be in Smallville? like, why are you here? So it makes it, so I think they moved him out there so that the villains that we expect you can't get to right away, because it would be way too awkward for them to just show up in this very small town, right? So I get what you guys are doing. I'll never agree with it, because I'm like, I wouldn't have minded if you started in Metropolis and then made your way to Smallville. So we got some of the.
They took from the new run that when now that he has a family with him and John and all this, they moved back to Smallville. So that's what they did in the comics. So they did it in the show. That's what it is. That's what happened. Like right now, he doesn't live in Metropolis. He lives in Smallville.
Oh, interesting. Look, again, doing that in the comics, Joel, I can accept, because I've had so many other comics where he was in Metropolis. So that's fine. But in a series, to do that is kind of just like a chunk of the character is missing to the viewer, right? Because now we're supposed to just assume he did all the really cool shit before.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Like, he did all that shit. He's past that now.
Right, and that's what I hate, because I'm like, damn, well, how much of the really cool shit did you do before you got
But it's not like he can't get to Smallville when he needs to. I mean, the Metropolis.
No, for sure. But I'm like, the way that the show has been, it's kind of just like that's in the background, because you know what I'm saying, like,
because it's more focused on Smallville,
right?
Because that's where they're at,
right? So I don't need to see him go to Metropolis by any means. That's not what I'm queuing up. I'm just saying I would have preferred to start it there, and then you made your way to Smallville. So I at least got all the really cool shit out of the way, and then I could bog down to a more family story. You know what I'm saying? Just him and Lois, you know, her taking down some of the most corrupt with her articles and whatnot, and him taking out the city's worst as Superman, and then it ending with, shit, I'm pregnant. You know? And then that's the same time jump that
she has teenagers when the show starts, so.
But which was weird, because remember, we said that the last time we saw them, she was like, I'm pregnant. It was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then she had the actual little.
She had a baby. She had one baby.
And then we had this massive time jump, and it's like, they're teenagers. Wait, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, your sons. I'm like, your sons? You have two sons?
Where was the other one pop up from? I'll still never forget, Joel. We were hoping that might be Damian Wayne. I
was hoping it just wasn't another Kryptonian. I thought they were like adopted. That's all I was hoping for. I didn't really care.
Not another Kryptonian.
I didn't want another Kryptonian.
But no, so and Joel does keep up with Legends, but I don't watch Legends, so I'm really just Batwoman in Superman and Lois. I told Joel I'm waiting to let Naomi kind of get a few episodes out and then kind of binge it a little bit more, because it wasn't catching me so far.
I'll say the last episode caught me because there was a nice little Easter egg.
The Easter egg? Oh wait, no, just Pete. Are you watching Naomi?
No, I haven't started yet.
Well, I mean, this will be.
Is it a big spoiler? The Easter egg?
I mean, it's not a. It's only a spoiler if you give a shit. But I don't think he gives a shit. And it's not really. Again, it's not a spoiler because he's not that. I don't even remember him in the comic book. So it's like that was new to me. They introduced another. You know the dude D, right?
The one that works at the tattoo shop.
Right. So you saw the last episode, right?
No.
You didn't see the last episode.
No.
I don't want to ruin it, but
no, go ahead.
So yeah, he's like, I'm gonna introduce you to someone that can probably like read you or so like that, like not an alien or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not really an alien, but when she takes him over there and he introduces himself, you're like, oh shit, that's fucking Captain Comet.
Like, oh shit, that's a deep cut.
That's a very deep cut. Like that's a random character, but I was like, very impressed that they used him, and he's like a psychic, and that's one of his abilities. But like, I just wasn't expecting him, and then like it's weird. As soon as they get there, he kind of reads it, and then they get raided. It's weird, but that's you'll probably see him again later on. But like, they introduced Captain Comet, so I'm like, all right, that's cool.
That's fucking dope as
shit. That's a deep cut character.
I was not expecting. Super deep ass deep cut. That's as deep of a cut as Peacemaker.
Yeah, not deep.
So the last thing I'm gonna ask you, Pete and Joel, and we're getting out of here, is Grant Gustin signed a deal to do another season of The Flash, a 1-year deal, like he was a fucking baseball player or basketball player or some shit. He's just there to shoot threes. That's it. But we know obviously this new season seems to be heavily about his children. It seems like it might go forward and back, like this a lot, like a lot of this.
Looks like his kids change in the future is what happened.
Right, but it looks like we're gonna see the future and then them coming back, because we see Barry and he's still young.
Yeah,
so I think
it looks like they changed something that changed Barry's modern day is what happened.
Right.
That's why this guy's back, Eddie Thawne.
Yes. Yep. And I can't wait to see. I know who Eunice wants him to be. He's been wanting him for forever.
I hope he's something.
Like season 1. This kid's been talking about that. Cobalt Blue. He wants him to be. But it probably won't be. CW rarely gives us things we actually ask for. Like they made Joel wait 8 years to get Boots. So the likelihood of us getting a character we want is slim to none. But anyway, so my question to you is, Pete, with him signing that 1-year deal to come back to be Flash, does it seem like the writing's on the wall that the Flash is coming to an end? That's question A. And question B, do you think they're going to pull an arrow and just end everything connected to the character? Or could you see a series about his kids coming down the pipeline?
I'll watch almost anything that Jessica Parker Kennedy does. She's lovely. With that said, I don't know how much other Flash stuff you could get. you might be able to pull off a Bart Allen series for a little while.
Yeah.
When they did it in the comics for like the 13 issues, which was actually a really good 13 issues. A lot of people shit on that, but I enjoyed it. You know, the half a problem, the thing that made the first few seasons of The Flash good was having the villains in it. There was like a new villain and a good villain every damn week. You had Captain Cold, you had Heat Wave, you know, Mirror Master was a while, but you know, you had good villains, and now it's just kind of fucking boring. Everybody on Team Flash got to be a goddamn superhero. Somebody's got to have powers. Somebody gets powers for the week. Iris gets powers for the 1700th time. Get a goddamn grip. It's Team Flash, not Team Everybody. I want to watch The Flash. I don't care about nobody else. You would, like, you know, the dude that was Elongated Man had all of that fucking legal trouble with whatever, and then they will go through this whole ass story of him like his whole body's like melted and shit, and then he's got to go away for a little while. You could have brought in a whole new fucking guy, guy, and that's just who his face melted into. Done. Yeah. And totally believable scenario.
I think that's what they're gonna do eventually. I just don't know when. Like, that's what they said they were gonna do.
There. Like, bring in the guy, fucking cast a nobody, because nobody gives a fuck who gets cast as Elongated Man. It's a fucking Elongated Man. And then you want to like write him out for a little while, then write him out. I don't know. Like, I think the writing's been on the wall for the Flash for quite a few seasons now. I was excited to see the Reverse Flash coming back because Tom Cavanaugh as Reverse Flash is amazing. That dude is just evil. Like, when he turns on the evil, he's fantastic. And then they defeat the guy in 5 episodes. They have one of the toughest villains in the entire DCU just be kind of like a time traveling half a punk for no reason at all, and that's the Sparrow. Like, what are you doing?
Oh, Despero, yeah.
Despero, I'm sorry. Like, I don't know. The show's been pushing it for probably since they stopped doing speedsters. Everybody was like, they're always doing speedsters. We need different villains. Here you go. Here's DeVoe. This season sucks. And it did. Juwaan, you're muted.
No. Let him go.
Shut up, Joel. I thought they were teetering with Savitar.
They were.
Yeah, they were. They were teetering there, and I was.
And we didn't think it could get worse. Then they were like, "Hold my beer."
It did get worse. No, because I remember, I'm like, "All right, who is Savitar? Like, I can't wait. Like, is it Zoom? But like, the suit is the only way to preserve his speed. Is it who is Savitar?" And when Evil Barry comes out of that shit, I remember going, "You didn't even try. Like, you didn't even try."
I actually thought that was more ballsy for them to do Evil Barry. Because I didn't think they were going to have the guts to do it.
I tell you this, doing Evil Barry, right, is the equivalent of doing what Rian Johnson did with Luke. That's just saying, hey, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want to do, and you'll accept it. And it's like, I don't accept, because I'm like, Eddie coming out of that would have been more acceptable. But Barry? You're fighting. And then I love how Barry figures it out before he steps out, and I'm just like, wait a minute. Why did you make it seem like it was that obvious all of a sudden? Like, how is this something you never thought of before? So I hated all of that. But where they really lost me was where it was like, all right, Captain Cold, you know who I am, but you won't tell anybody, right? And he's like, I won't. I got you. And it's like, wait, hold on, what? Like, I don't understand. That's like the Riddler going, all right, I know who you are, Bruce, but I won't tell anyone.
No.
I promise. And it's like, what?
And good guys. You're like, what?
Right, then they made them good guys on Legends.
Yeah. Well, they're bad guys, but are they? You know?
But are they? Yes, they are. Like, what are we doing here? So to me, I think it has run its course. And you know what's crazy? Arrow worked backwards from the Flash, because I believe the Flash has consistently gotten to the points where I'm like, oh, you can end at any time. Mm-hmm. Arrow chose to get better in its later years, right?
Arrow had like a up and down and then back up again.
Right. Yeah. When it hit Prometheus and then hit the season where he ends up in jail, it's like, all right, this is pretty fucking good. And then they're just like, all right, we're wrapping it up. And I'm like, hold on,
We're
wait.
done now.
Now I'm invested. Like, now I'm interested. Come back. So the Flash at this point, I'm like, well, you've exhausted all your villains, right? And then you made Godspeed like a fucking pushover.
Thank you.
So,
One of the coolest new guys.
yeah, you're running out of stuff at this point. You should probably. I mean, we got Sonic now. We got Speedsters. We're good. You can just wrap this shit up. We're good. So I felt like it was on its way out. Joel, do you feel as though it needs to end at this point?
Yeah, I think it's over. I mean, I don't know what else you can or want to do. It's gonna go to 9. Cool, I'm fine with that. Just leave it be after that.
Yeah,
You know,
make
end
it
it
good.
there. You know, man, make it good. Close it up. Just put a bow on it, and you know, not that I never ever want to see him as Barry again. You know, hopefully we do get to see him again in the future. Just he doesn't have his own show anymore, like Supergirl. Like I don't mind seeing him come back as a cameo.
You
or
can have
whatever.
cameos and like special guest appearances.
Right, we don't need to see him die like Ollie.
Oh God,
he
no.
wanted to die, I get it, but like, no need for that. You don't have to kill him off or anything. But yeah, it's time. It really is. You know, 9 seasons is a good run. Like, look, Smallville did the same thing. They went 10 seasons. That talk about overstaying your welcome.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I swear to God, CW is trying its best to be the Law and Order of superheroes, and it's just like,
Yeah.
stop it.
Reality.
Like, stop it. Stop making so many. It doesn't have to go this long. But I also believe, Joel and Pete, I think you guys will agree with me. I don't think you should ever give an actor that much power to where he's just like, you know what? I think what would be best for this character is that he no longer breathes. And it's like, wait, hold on, what? I want to see him again in a crossover or something. Why is it that they won't just retire? Like, why is it? It's like, no, dead. That makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? So, and look, I'm glad they didn't do that with Black Lightning. I'm really glad they didn't do that with him. They're just
Right.
like, all right, he still exists.
Retired, and then he showed up a couple episodes.
I was
Same
happy
thing
to see
on the
him show
Flash.
up in the Flash for that,
Right.
respite. That was good.
Absolutely.
It was fun.
It was.
That's what I mean. Something like that is perfect. Like,
And,
he
you know,
shows
speaking
over.
of, going back to kind of bring this whole show full circle, like they released the Black Lightning Funko Pops, right?
Mhm.
And the Black Lightning one looks really cool. It got all the lightning and shit. How the motherfucker do you not make one of those Chase figures glow in the dark?
That is a really good
Good
question.
point.
Like,
That is a
of all
really
the ones.
Yeah, that seems like that should have been someone's first idea before making one that doesn't glow in the dark.
Right. That was a
Before they did
gimme.
anything else.
A
Yep.
light up one with a little flick on the fucking foot or something.
Especially the original one, because it definitely glue. Like his
Right.
chest was glowing. The
Right.
first suit.
Which
Second
is-
suit wasn't, but
Which
the
is
first suit
unique
was.
because I thought it was very unique when what's his name did it for Shazam, because we've never seen that before.
Glowing lightning.
Where you're making it to where it literally lights up to where, you know what I'm saying? Because we're used to it just being a design, like a logo, just a logo,
Right.
bright ass logo. So you making it that unique, that was one of the biggest things I loved about Shazam's look was that looks pretty cool. And it looked cool on Black Adam. So I'm like, why wouldn't you make a glow in the dark of this figure? So like when I look up, I just see the eyes and the chest piece lighting up. Like, that's awesome. I understand. I feel like each episode we do, we make someone else a $1 billion idea. Each time we talk, each time we get together, we do something that makes someone else rich.
We gotta start doing something that's our own IP, and we can make money off of
That's
it.
exactly what we need to do. And I got to make sure I don't accidentally talk about it on the show. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
Because I don't edit. So you guys will go, Juwaan, I just watched it and you kept it in there. And it's like, no, I did. I probably did. But no, so I'm with you, Pete. Just do better for your pops. Do better.
Yeah.
As bright as Barry's suit is, that shit should glow in the dark. The movie version. That shit really
I can't wait to see the full scope of that suit.
A trailer has to be coming soon. It should. Can I be honest with you? If you really want to blow people's minds, that trailer should be attached to the Batman.
Of course.
Flash?
Yeah.
Hopefully.
If you want to blow people's minds to where they're just like, all right, I'm ready for the new Batman. And then you get a trailer of old Batman and then yesterday's Batman. Like, you can go, what? What is happening?
Definitely need at least a Black Adam trailer, damn it.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Just something. I want to see Dr. Fate. Why are you making me wait so long? Goodness gracious. But yeah, so just do better, DC. We're sick of having to come on here and tell you how to do your job. Just do it better, please. Please. But all right. So everyone, I want to thank Joel and I want to thank Pete. I want to thank you guys for watching this episode. Pete, the guy you were talking about that I think you were saying that did the artwork.
For Miles Morales, yes.
Yeah. If you send me the link in the group chat, I'll put it in our bio description. To give him a shout out. But thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Figure It Out. I'm glad the three of us got to get back together and talk some news and some figures. Hopefully we'll get JD back. I know it seems like we've been saying it for 4 months. I know, but JD is becoming one of the all-stars on a basketball team that just can't stay healthy.
We're like, he's a chase figure.
He will return to the lineup, I swear. And then it's like, all right, he's good to go. And then it's like, he sprained his wrist doing what? But I promise you, yes, Pete. But I promise you, JD will be back. He has an entire treasure chest of figures he's been wanting to show us since.
Seriously, we're gonna do the whole episode on that.
Right, yeah, we could literally just do figures. That's it. No news, just figures.
All three of us gotta just have popcorn and just be like, "What?" And it's right. JD's show.
And then when we go, okay, you done? No, that was this treasure chest. Back the other one out. But no, shouts out to him and shouts out to Joe. Joe also. Make sure you guys stay tuned for Galactic Review tomorrow when we talk the newest episode of Book of Boba, and stay tuned for Peacemaker Thursdays, where we will be going live to break down the newest episode of Peacemaker. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. And until next time, guys, peace.
Hello, everybody. I saved my last shot.
Yeah.